Alright folks, we're back. Thank you for watching that commercial break for us. We are going to be getting into what appears to be Drogo versus Elazer next. So, kind of confirming that at this point, PvZ. This is still a round of 8 match, not a semifinals. But this kind of works out because of the staggered semifinals anyways. So, for example, if we followed Euthermal, and let's say he was able to play right now, which he's not. He's still waiting on an opponent. Or Marine, excuse me. Then they'd still have to wait in the finals, and we'd be stuck waiting, twiddling our thumbs. But if we take this round of 8 match, then we follow this to their semifinals, and their semifinals will arrive at the final second at this current rate. So we'll have really smooth sailing for the stream, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it.
Yay! Good stuff.
Good stuff. But okay, at the moment, we have to wait for them to finish up their vetoes, so we'll take a few moments before we're quite ready to go. While we're waiting though, just again, thanks for tuning in to BaseTradeTV. If you guys aren't already following the channel, do me a favor and hit that follow button. It's right, I think it's like down there, pointing in the general direction at least. And make sure to always come back for all of our broadcasts. We don't advertise our website a lot lately, but I would like to just while we're waiting. BaseTrade.tv. But the more important aspect of our website to look at is our calendar, which is, I'm going to say, not always super consistently up to date, but for the most part, like 90% up to date. So, as I poorly screen agent this.
I might have broken the website just like the tiniest bit.
Oh no, what did you do? I'm going to advertise this.
Well, if you don't notice, then I'm not saying anything.
Okay, excellent. Well, I'm bringing up our website really quick to show you guys that if you go to the top part of the calendar, go down to events, you can see we've got everything listed that we try to cast. So, Shaw matches, Corsair Cup, Lima League. Pretty stacked stuff, but it's good to keep idea of what's going on. Also lets you know when we're not going to be here, so like we'll be at TwitchCon for this last weekend of the month and all that type thing. So, yeah, make sure to bookmark this so you don't miss any cast, guys.
I updated it. What a good time to advertise it.
So what did you break? I love that cocky little head dance, like, I did it.
I always think of SpongeBob when he does a stupid dance. Whatever this is called, the slider thing with all the news on the homepage was bigger. Okay. I don't know how to change it.
Nice.
I'll figure it out. I literally just like copy pasted the format from one of the older slider announcements, and it still didn't work. So, yeah.
Nice.
Okay. The worst. Anyway.
Put on my super light hat while we're waiting, because I fucking love this thing from Corsair. Seizure warnings, watch out, guys. Speaking of Corsair, by the way, what about these headsets? How about that headset there, Zombie Grub? How's that treating you?
Pretty good. Makes my hair look fabulous.
It does, actually. You've got this nice little, I don't even know what you want to call it, like this poofy thing with what your bangs would be otherwise.
I know. I don't know how to achieve it otherwise.
You're like, I've tried using mousse. I've tried using hair products. Mousse, like, what is it, the 90s? Anyways, nothing seems to work.
But the headset does. Ooh, I didn't mean to touch that.
Let's see if we can let them rehost WCS mod if possible. Nice. Alright. New Gettysburg, do you want to host it? Let's see if we yelled at. But anyways, real talk about the Corsair headsets for a second, though. We've been using these for like a year. I know someone brought it up last night, which is kind of my excuse for bringing it up again now. But we've been using these for like a year at this point. They haven't failed us yet. Super comfy. I got a big head. I got glasses. Oh, Drogo invited me. Okay, we'll go to Drogo's lobby. Drogo's lobby then.
Okay.
Anyways, and the wireless battery is nice. 9 hours at least, without doubt. You can get even more if you turn off the lighting. I turn off the lighting because I can't see the cool lighting on my own headset, so it's like whatever, who cares? But I've got the lighting on the keyboard always on because that looks pretty.
I turned. Oh, maybe I didn't. Never mind.
I used to use the ripple effect where like you'd press a key and the light would like splash out, but that got very distracting. So now I just have it like glow randomly.
I don't know.
I guess speaking of TwitchCon too, by the way, since we mentioned that a moment ago, if you guys are going, make sure to let us know. Come say hi to us. We don't have like a big meetup going, and I know it's not like a StarCraft event, so I don't expect there to be too many of like BaseTradeTV fans there. But for BlizzCon, We better... Okay, so at DreamHack Austin, we had the sickest meetup for breakfast. Zombie got missed because she unfortunately cannot, like, control herself when it comes to drinking, apparently. Being an adult is tough for some of us. Anyways, I do want to do something like that again in BlizzCon. So maybe we'll run, like, a fundraiser for it or something, I don't know, but we had, like, 20, 25 people show up for, like, this lunch. It was awesome. The bill came to, like, $700. Didn't matter because we had a great time with our fans. Olivia actually ended up taking off a bit early to take care of you or help you get to the place. Or I don't know, you were lost or something. But I would love to do it with a Denny's specific. That is it IHOP or Denny's? I don't remember. But
an IHOP.
Yeah, BlizzCon's got that really sick IHOP that everyone uses for like late night meetups. I think like a super either late night BaseTradeTV hangout or like a morning breakfast meetup would be awesome.
Sure. Sounds like a good time.
Dear IHOP, can we get a table for 42, please? Thank you.
I mean, we got a table for like 25 at one time. They put us upstairs.
We had like a fourth of the upstairs area, like for just us, which was cool.
That was the first time we went to BlizzCon.
Yeah, that was when my feet died on me, and I didn't get to go to Disneyland. Feels bad, man.
I had to give your ticket to someone. Who did I give it to?
Huck, I think. Is Huck or Snix?
Yes, Snix or Huck. Mm-hmm.
Anyways, BlizzCon's gonna be really good times. I'm super excited for it. I hate that it's like you wait all year for it, and it comes and goes so quick because it's like 2 days. But it's like without a doubt my favorite thing we go to every year.
Well, we have other things to be excited about around that time. Woo!
What Zombie Girl? What else do we have to be excited about?
Thanksgiving.
Shut the fuck. If I can't talk about it, you can't talk about it because that'll bait me into talking about it. Then I'll be the one who gets in trouble.
I'm not talking about anything. I'm talking about Thanksgiving.
Yeah, what do you
know? Late October is your Thanksgiving, right? And
I'm thankful for all the extra events we get to go to that we can't talk about.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting into a brand new best of 3 for the KeSPA Cup qualifiers. Currently, we don't have a top Korean caster, by the way. It feels a little bit lonely. This could be you. Seriously.
Someone actually did donate, but you missed it.
Not while I was here.
Yep.
So if you want to be the top Korean caster, guys, literally any dollar value, we'll get that for you. And the best part is knowing that we don't have to give any of it to KeSPA.
Hey!
No revenue sharing hype! At any rate, KeSPA Cup, organized, hosted by Team Liquid, cast by BaseTradeTV. It's a group effort, and in the bottom left side of the map, he is the French Protoss, my insanities, PtitDrogo.
In the bottom right, as the yellow Zerg, he is Elazer for Team Extreme Supremacy.
Nope.
True Esports.
Yep. See, their old name was cooler. It's easier to say, too. True Esports isn't difficult to say, but it doesn't roll off the tongue the same way.
True Esports?
Yeah.
I think it's easier to say than Team Extreme Supremacy.
I think it's just the fact that True and Esports both end and start with an E, so it sounds like one bad word instead of two separate words.
I think you're crazy. Whatever.
Wow.
And you remember WildStar? Remember when we tried to play that game?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I got to max level to PvP. Someone
I feel like I would
my
have
computer
too.
Can't play this game.
Yo, that was so frustrating because I had above recommended requirements, but it was the wrong graphics card type, and they acknowledged it too. They're like, yeah, we were not, we're working on compatibility with that specific type of brand, but. I was gonna wait like 6 months playing this crappy game, and at the time it wasn't free to play either.
Yeah.
It's not my bad. They're bad.
Deet01 in chat says, what's the headset model, Rifkin? I too have a big head, and Razers ain't doing it. Yeah, I used to use Razer, then I used CM Storm because they sponsored us for a bit. CM Storm actually wasn't too bad for big heads. Razer was terrible for big heads. But if you got a big head, Corsair is definitely my favorite of the 3 so far. And if you want to do us that extra step of a favor by clicking the links down below on the stream, those links specifically tell Corsair you came from BaseTradeTV. Even if you don't buy it, just let them know you checked it out through our link would be greatly helpful.
Well, Drogo is not Showtime, so I don't know if he's going to be doing any island shenanigans here, but he is going for a Stargate.
Okay, so you didn't cast a bunch of it. I unfortunately did. And I say unfortunately because I loved what Neeb was trying to do on this map last night during the North American qualifiers. He went for air, and he was using the air control to get the island bases, and he actually took both of them, but still just ultimately died to Scarlet both times. So I I don't mind a Stargate opening. I think there's a lot you can do, and Drogo's actually proven that he's been consistent with the Stargate opening ever since like Runes of Endion and such in that last season of Lavender map pools. That being said, I'm not convinced that mass air is going to be the way to go, and I hope he doesn't go that direction.
Oh yeah, there's another thing happening around that time that everyone's thinking of.
What?
Announcements of announcements. Thanksgiving.
Okay, I don't know what Thanksgiving we're referring to here, homie. Like, this is killing me. Humongous what? Humongous
so
what?
Silly that there is. Why are there two Thanksgivings so close to each other? Anyway.
Humongous
I think
what?
Canada's silly. What are you talking about? What are you saying?
Is that sexual harassment?
What are you doing? You're saying words?
The Oracle gets into Elazer's main, but there's so many queens. There's just no room to get this damage done. So for Drogo, he's unfortunately going to be left with two Oracles that are kind of relegated to just be scouting tools, revelations, maybe the odd stasis trap on the bridge or something, but not going to get damage done with this, unfortunately.
No, but it seems like he wasn't really all that invested in it anyway. So third Nexus is on the way.
Well,
gotta go ahead and invest in a Void Ray.
This will be interesting for a couple of different reasons. One, obviously, cleaning up Overlords. A Void Ray will get it done. So will a Phoenix, but a Void Ray will get it done faster. The Void Ray can help out if there's a Roach push. Unfortunately, though, I don't think that the Void Ray is... It's a little awkward, because it's not that it's a bad choice. It's not a waste of money, but it's also not a necessity either. And it seems like a lot of the instances you see Void Rays, it's either because you're going for massive amounts of them, or you're desperate for a Roach attack that's on the way.
Yeah, I mean, the single Void Ray to clean up Overlords isn't super, super rare, but I feel like it really has fallen off, except for like a couple of people that, play, not only get it for the Overlords, but also just in case. Like, it's a unit that probably won't be touched in the early game, similar to a Banshee, that you don't have to worry about dying, but, with how popular Ling styles are lately, I feel like it's really not going to be that helpful most of the time. I don't know if it's 100% worth. It gets one Overlord already. That's about it. Just Overlord speed's done. The fourth base is on the way. The Oracle's gonna scout that. So Oracle's already getting some pretty decent scouting. I mean, they almost got a queen, so they haven't completely useless. Also, and Drogo still needs to kind of transition away from the Stargate tech for you really get to see what his competition looks like.
He's not been scouting with Revelations, though, interestingly enough. Just kind of body scouting with the Oracles. There's not been an army to put a Revelation on, and that's kind of big news. Like, Elazer's sitting on 12 army supply. It's unfortunate Drogo went for the opening that he did, because if he was going for any kind of a depth push right now, I think he would have killed Elazer. I prefer not to. For some reason, it didn't trigger the Korean caster for that.
Oh, did for me. What? Why?
So
Why?
this happened last time too, right?
Yeah.
Like, for some reason, you get the Korean caster, sometimes I get the normal. Maybe it's because we're both using the same Twitch alerts and it didn't count on people doing that. But alright, pretend it was yelling, Plagu! Plagu now! Plagu! As I prefer not to, just claims the top Korean caster spot. $21! Says, looking forward to a great evening of StarCraft 2. Well, it's evening here in Europe. Go BaseTradeTV!
Woo! Long cast hype!
Yeah.
I wish I had a Red Bull. I do have a lot of sugar food, though, so maybe that'll make up for it.
I was really...
Everyone brought a dessert.
I used my last Red Bull last night, and I didn't think it would go 8 hours, so I figured, before I go to bed, I'll bike down to the corner store, I'll grab a new one for tomorrow. And then the cast finished at like 1 a.m., and I was like, no, okay, that's not,
Feels bad.
Thank you for covering the solo cast this morning. There was just no way. I slept through 4 alarms, homie. Like, I tried to wake up on time for this. It was not going to happen.
I don't have grand all time. You probably could have slept in a little bit more, but...
I ended up waking up because my dog was being really loud, so I didn't really have a choice.
Yo, that's why I woke up. Again, after I woke up at 6. Damn dogs. Yippin'!
Well, so my dog does this really annoying thing where he doesn't like the food we give him, so he'll headbutt the bowl around. And it's like a metal bowl just constantly like clanking around on the ground. Like, consider like a prisoner running like the cup across the bars in like a prison cell. That's kind of the equivalent of what my dog does with his food.
Yeah. I have a cat outside in the morning. She gets wet food. Everything else is dry food. But when I feed her, I only give her dry food in the morning. And she just looks at me and she's like, I'm not eating that.
Who do you think I am?
Right. All right. So we do have. We actually saw a Spire, which is kind of important. 10 mutas were made. That's about it, though. And then he goes back in a Hydralisk. So this could cause an overreaction from Drogo. It could just be used to clean up a War Prism, which wouldn't be a bad idea as this push comes forward. And Drogo did go for Charge Out Archon, one awkward-looking Void Ray. So this is kind of a scary army, especially since there aren't Banelings, you know, to try and hit the center of the juicy Zealots. And they have against the Archons at all. The Lurkers aren't quite done. He's still producing a good army. The army size being similar with such a powerful army for Drogo is actually kind of scary.
This is so weird, though, because this army... There's a lot... we'll talk about this in a moment. Shout out for the donations. So the other side of the map, Drogo's going to get kind of wrecked by the mutas. It's almost an awkward base trade. The Lurkers get their Revelation tagged on them, though, so the detection will be able to deal with them. They get some nice shots on the Zealots, and the Zealots actually get pretty annihilated by this. But the Void Ray still stands. The Archons are still going. I mean, the Lurker's going to eventually chip away at it, but not before, I think, Revelation comes off cooldown and he hits it again.
Yeah. There the mutas come back now. They probably should have gone for the War Prism. Until they went for the Archon.
Well, I mean, the Archon...
Still.
I think it was a lot going to be harder to pick off than the War Prism would have been. So yeah, he gets on the way out. Problem is, though, with 5 Archons, the mutas can't really engage on top of this army, so Elazer's stuck in a very awkward situation. He doesn't have a ground army that can fight this. He doesn't have an air army that can fight this. This is what props, forces even base trades in a lot of scenarios.
You know, Drogo taking such a good fight with the ground army of Elazer. Like, seriously, seconds difference, and the Lurkers are well positioned, and there's like a concave, and there's more lings. But having, you know, been out of position for a couple of seconds, I think Drogo takes this game. You know, trying to get back into a muta style and base trade it out, I think is too late. As of course, Drogo did have a Stargate and is even getting another one. And the mutas really didn't do that much damage. They killed a handful of probes, not enough to be devastating. And I don't think he can continue, you know, basically all winning with the Mutalisk here. Although he's really trying. Like, he wants to go to base trade it. He's getting a base of the gold. He's getting a lot of lings in here, and there's not the cannons. The cannons aren't ready.
Yeah, I don't know if Elazer can win the fight. The Phoenixes, unfortunately, are going to add nothing to this. The value is just not there. Like, Drogo kills buildings a lot faster than Elazer does, but at the same time, Elazer is... He got a big head start on this. Drogo was meandering around up here when the third base got attacked for that first time. But let's got full Archons in the main, couple of Phoenixes, and these Stalkers might be enough to drive this back. Link's going to carry the Stalkers, Link's getting on top of the Archon, but the cannons in that Archon hold the ground war, and the mutas can't really engage on top of this.
Well, they're trying. Pretty good shot, takes out 2. Phoenix trying to take out a little bit more. If he could produce one more Phoenix, I think he'd totally have it. Actually, he might still. 4 Phoenix against leftovers here coming through.
Yeah, his controls are pretty good.
That's
it. Nicely done.
Even if the mutas survived and took on the Phoenixes, he still had to take care of the other army that was attacking him, so...
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Good game out of Drogo. Well done with the air control. KeSPA hit us up with a $2 donation. It says, y'all deserve the credit for what you do. Deep down, the community loves y'all. Y'all. I know I do. Sorry, I'm poor at the moment. It's all good, dude. $2 means a lot. $2, $1 watching ads. Everything. All Gucci. Thank you so much for your support. But we're going to get game number 2 up here in a moment. Hopefully don't want to play ads. But Drogo was the one who's hosting, so I don't know if he's hosting again or we have to get a Team Liquid referee in or what the case is. Did Nurchu ended up winning against Euthermal, by the way. Him versus Hero Marine plays in the semifinals.
Ooh. Yeah, we are getting reports of forfeits in the losers bracket.
It's unfortunately pretty standard practice at this point, too. Like, it's not just like, okay, you're going to get 1 or 2 forfeits. You're going to get like 5 or 10. And a little bit because some of the players, I think, realize, like, oh, okay, I maybe don't stand a chance against some of the big names that are left. But then part of it, too, is just that's another 4 to 5 hours they have to dedicate to, which they just might literally not have the time for. I mean, one of the other aspects of these qualifiers that needs to be understood by the, I guess, average viewer, too, is not everyone comes here with the intention of winning. A lot of players will actually play in these cups for the intention of, like, testing their skills, seeing where they're at, and if they can beat better players than them.
Oh, Monk already joined. Oh, hey, everyone's here.
Wait, why is he telling you to make a lobby until a caster's ready? I mean, aren't we?
2 different conversations.
Oh, okay. I was very confused. I'm like, did we stop being casters at some point? Like, what the... I guess, yeah, again, we're not casters, we're field reporters, right? StarCraft 2.
Totally. Yeah, he knows that too.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Galactic Process going to be the second map of the best of 3. Another fairly big map.
Yeah, it's a lot different though in the way that it's played, I would say. New Gettysburg, typically goes up to those 3 bases, whereas Galactic Process, I guess it usually goes to 3 bases, but like there's a lot more dynamic of like where you take the 3rd base, especially for the Protoss lately. They wall off the front, or they go for the diagonal wall off. And the Zerg's like chipping down those rocks and being a flipping headache, so there's a lot more counterattack opportunities. It's different.
Mm-hmm. But alright, let's get into it. Get rid of these ugly things on the overlay. And map number 2. Spawning in the bottom left side. He's up 1 game. I introduced him incorrectly last game because he's no longer the tiny PtitDrogo he once was. After DreamHack, he just became the red Protoss Drogo.
In the top right, as the blue Zerg, he is Elazer.
I made the mistake. Excuse me, one sec. Didn't get to mute. My bad, stream. I was gonna say I made the mistake of browsing Reddit during the break between the 2 games, and stumbled upon a Rube Goldberg machine, which I am now thoroughly enjoying watching on the other monitor.
A what?
The Rube Goldberg machine.
Oh, I know what those are. Okay. I actually had to make one for my animation class.
This one's apparently the perfect 10-minute nap thing, and it basically had a ball rolls into the timer, it plays for 10 minutes, then through a series of other weird events, pours coffee, and wakes you up. It's kind of cool.
Interesting.
Anyways, Drogo gonna come across the map with his probe, and I guess Elazer hasn't been doing anything too cheesy versus him. We didn't see a proxy hatchery. There's nothing that's really going to cause red flags. So this is just pretty normal probe practice. But it is weird to consider like just how different the playstyle is versus Drogo than was versus Wellmu.
Oh yeah, I kind of forgot Elazer faced Wellmu. So kind of quickly.
Kind of forgot we cast that not too long ago.
Yeah, it was like an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. It was over so quick. Actually, like before you joined, we cast me and PtitDrogo cast TLO's game, and I thought that would be pretty good against Lambo, and he got TO'd super quick.
That was surprising, not just because of the result. I mean, shout out to Lambo, by the way, that's impressive. But secondly, that's when you're like, yeah, you got like half an hour, go shower, we'll finish up the series. And I was like, great, I got plenty of time. I sit down, the series is like ending. I'm like, oh god, I gotta rush now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we haven't really talked about this, and I guess we're not casting a Team Liquid player right now, but we were with Thermal. But like all the Team Liquid guys are doing boot camp right now for another like week, I think. So they're all in the same room, able to talk to each other. I hope they have to put any dividers up in case they fight each other. Well, I guess yes. No. Yeah. I don't know if they will in the losers bracket, basically. But I love seeing that. I remember the Axiom team did that. They had to put like full
cardboard. Yeah, like Alicia and Summoner. I don't know. The Havoc Bringer in chat, by the way, says BaseTradeTV. Do you guys pick the commercials, or is it Twitch showing that god awful Budweiser commercial over and over again? Unfortunately, we do not get to pick the commercials. Oh, this is cool, by the way. Elazer gets to pick his bases. We don't get to pick the commercials. The only control is we have a button that says, okay, you can now play commercials, right? And we pick 2 minutes, not 3 minutes, etc. But one of the nice things about seeing really annoying commercials on Twitch is if you ever go to events, it's actually a wonderful bonding experience. I've had some of my most fun talks bitching about all the terrible commercials we've been watching on Twitch.
I feel so left out, Turbo.
Darn you Twitch Turbo users supporting people behind the scenes. God, you make me sick.
I know. Well, brought up the base here. Let's talk a little bit more about it. So, this 3rd base as the gold can be very interesting. We've seen the natural taken as the gold too, and that both can go in different directions. So, whether it's a 3rd or your natural, in that it can go for like an all-in. Now you have kind of a more advanced reinforcement point, as well as just you need the less drones because you're going to saturate this much quicker. Or you could go for the just brand economy game and assume that you can defend against this, because Drogo sees it, he knows it, and he's got to decide right now what to do about it. And like letting it go and getting your own 3rd base isn't truly devastating. We've actually seen that on other gold-based maps as a response. It's not ideal. I think like, if nothing else, it's that feeling of like, you son of a Zerg.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill you.
This map in particular has been reminding me a lot of the old Overgrowth days, where there wasn't really a lot you could do about it initially, right? Like, if you see that gold base taken, even if it's as a natural, you can't exactly rush Adepts over to kill it, Stalkers to kill it. You can't overreact to this. You just have to play accordingly.
Oh my god. Oh my god, this guy. Dire Desire made the best pun. I actually love it. It's okay, Rifkin. You can make that name mistake once, but don't repeat it.
That's clever. That's actually super Rifkin envious. I'm mad, but because I'm envious of how clever that pun was.
Oh, God. I was actually looking at the chat and I saw someone mention Showtime. He's one of the guys that gave up in the losing bracket. He's feeling sick today. So, and that popped up. That was good.
That's unfortunate. Showtime, though, Team Liquid actually put this really cool thing out talking about foreigners and their chances with the KeSPA Cup. And if you guys haven't read those threads, I'd recommend it. If someone wants to link it in chat, hype. But it's kind of cool weighing like who this tournament matters most for, right? For some of these guys, it's just a free trip to go to Korea. They'll play the one round, they'll lose, but they'll have like the weekend to hang around and do cool stuff. For others, WCS points are everything. Elazer is actually one of these people. We should have probably brought this up earlier, but I actually straight up forgot. Him and Violet are currently tied. Violet lost the North American qualifiers and has no chance to get to the KeSPA Cup. But Elazer just has to win one match in the KeSPA Cup, and he's beating Violet and won't have to worry about a tiebreaker to determine who goes to BlizzCon between the two of them.
Oh, nice defense, by the way. Doesn't Drogo still have a chance, too? He'd have to get further than just one win, though.
Him and Euthermal have a chance, but they have to get really far into the cup. They don't have an easy road ahead of them. I can't remember. One of the two has to actually straight up win the KeSPA Cup. The other one only has to get to the semifinals to bump out somebody. There's also the concern that if Drogo and Euthermal both qualify through, that puts Hydra potentially in danger too. Hydra, who's been sitting pretty safely, has not been competing in much more recently. I think he was actually sick last I heard. But either way, he's not secured his spot yet. But in fairness, it's going to be very difficult for these perfect storm set of circumstances to shut down people like Hydra, to knock out Violet.
Yeah.
That's a big task for Elazer still nonetheless.
Considering the type of people that got through the KeSPA Cup bracket, I don't think there was a single bracket that was that one kind of mediocre guy got through. It's going to be very difficult, but anyway, we gotta talk more about the game. So you saw the DTs get denied, and that kind of sucks for Drogo. They attempted doing the Archon thing here, but Elazer was also prepped for that, and he's just been able to mine off this gold base without a problem. Drogo got kind of a later third base because of the Dark Shrine build that has done nothing so far, and he's kind of hurting for it. He's hurting even more because his army's entirely out of position. Oh, his pile's gonna go down.
He's going for big warpins right now, but it's all adapts. The Overseer was here anyways, just in case the Immortal's going to come down that ramp. It looks like the base is going to stand, but this looked really scary because the Elazer for a moment just looked like he was going to wash over this base. Cannons aplenty finishing up, 5 pylons going down because he wants something to overcharge. The Mothership Core's got energy, but nothing to hit it with.
Some probes will be able to make it out. It's actually not a devastating amount killed there, but the third looks like it's going to go down still, and that's pretty bad.
Overcharge the pylon, maybe? No, the cannon doesn't get a chance to shoot. Yeah, he is still going to get this base. Other side of the map, though, not without repercussions. A couple of Archons going to be walking around. These are some pretty big bruisers that can't be easily dealt with a couple of units. But the gold base remains strong. Roach is going to come in and try and intercept this. And that base is going to go down.
Oof. Now, Elazer isn't exactly, steamrolling here. He doesn't have that big of an army, and in fact, Drogo has good counter units. Yeah, 51 drones, though, with a gold base. I think it's looking pretty good.
I mean, maybe, but at the same time, Drogo's still keeping up with him on income pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I wanted to get into, is kind of his army's pretty good. He didn't lose that in the defense, or he lost a couple of depths, right? So, the fact that he's also able to save a decent amount of probes means that, yeah, he could probably plant us back down and still have a decent game. This isn't super game over like it looked like it was going to be. And Elazer did take his sweet time kind of getting to a higher tech. He was actually banking about 1,000 minerals at one point, and then kind of had to invest it all into more roaches and lings, because his Hydra wasn't done yet, and he saw the potential of Drogo's counter, which is, it's not a big army, but it's a super powerful one.
By the way, this is the topic of bits being brought up in chat. Well, hold the phone. We'll talk about that in a second. Big attack here, and the Lings get a pretty nice surround on that initial fight. Drogo was trying to do some Warp Prism Micro. He's still trying to do some Warp Prism Micro, but it's not quite cutting it. The Archons and the Immortals have a lot of damage, certainly, but they don't have much health left on any of them.
Yeah. If he had another Warp Prism warping in, 7 Adepts, I actually wonder if he could have won that. But
he didn't really have the money for it.
Yeah, I guess that's true. He just only got his third base back up. But it was pretty close. Like, Elazer really won that because he pounced with a significant amount of units. If he wasn't up 30-ish army supply, maybe more, he would have lost, I think.
Yeah.
Especially with a Mithra there.
Mortals don't quite have the barriers off cooldown yet. It's a fairly long cooldown, but it's coming up soon. Ravage is looking to press that issue. DT's warped in, but there's an Overseer still alive, so detection won't be a problem here. You can use them for Archons instead. Probably a smarter choice. Getting a little bit blitzy and Elazer reaching a little bit too deep. Might be better off just backing away.
Yeah. Doesn't have a lot of gas. He never took his third base gases, his gold base that is, or his fourth, only just taking them now, or his main second gas. So that's a lot of the reason why he was making a lot of minerals in the first place. Again, why it's happening here, and he had to flood with lings as opposed to like hydras. But now he's getting to hydras, and now he's getting all of his gases as he's going up to lurkers.
So, getting back to the point that was a little bit unrelated, trying to make beforehand, the topic of bits has been brought up in chat, and more importantly, BaseTradeTV is not using them. So there's two things right now, guys. I'm still not convinced bits are a great thing, and I don't really want to promote them. The funny thing is I've talked to every other broadcaster, and I don't think anyone I've talked to has been like, well, I hate bits, but there's not a single person that's been, I like them either. And my concern is, like, I don't think it's necessarily the best thing in the world, so we're holding off on it. Maybe bits will come one day, maybe it won't be. So just apologies for those who do have bits, that do want to use them. I know that Zymgrab and I think you enabled them on your personal channel too, right?
I did, yes.
We both have them enabled on our personal channel, so if you really want to like use the bits up, that's the place you can go for it, but BaseTradeTV will hold off on them for a little bit of time. Thank you though, nonetheless, like the thoughts are certainly appreciated. Big surround on the gold with these lings should be able to get a nice cancel. The Archon's going to rush on in, but that's a lot of lings. Either way, Elazer's going to back away from this. Creep spread, by the way, really getting nice down here to the south. Middle of the map's kind of okay, but this creep spread's going to start blocking out potential bases Drogo should have taken forever ago.
Yeah, right? He probably, if you're not using these lings here on the fourth base anymore, they should probably go down to breaking all the rocks that are available. That'd be very, very good use of them, because Drogo is really not paying attention to the right side of the map, and that's kind of the one downside of expanding like he does, so that's north to the other third, and then further north to the gold base. But the lings actually get into the third base as the depths get into the main base.
That awkward hold position when all the pros run away. Elazer, please.
Right. It's kind of a funny game. It's been very back and forth. Elazer's at many different points looked like he was just winning straight up, but really the resilience of Drogo and the fact that he's on a lot of really good units.
Look at the upgrades, though.
+3, basically.
0.
Yeah, because, Elazer's been very bare bones, right? Like, it was originally a Ling Roach attack that should have had Hydra's second, but because he didn't take the gases, it was, again, Ling Roach Ravager. And now it's only just getting to Lurkers, and Drogo's not been doing a bad job getting those important anti-Lurker units, right? It's not like he's suddenly relying on nothing but Adepts. He still has a good number of Immortals, obviously Archons, and now onto Disruptors. So even though a lot has happened in the first 12 minutes, it kind of looks like a normal game, right? Or like no one lost a base. Zerg's up in supply, but then Drogo's on 4 bases and can maybe hold. That's a pretty good Lynx around, though.
The Lurkers get in position, though. They're getting a lot of splash damage on the Adepts. They do get cleaned up, but not before dealing a ton of damage. The remaining units should be able to push this back, and Drogo's army collapses. I really thought upgrades were going to play a much bigger impact. The Disruptor shot was pretty big.
That was huge in helping him defend against this, but he might not be able to save his 4th base. That's pretty close. There's only 3 Lurkers, and Adept's spread could probably take those on. Did he lose the Observer, though? I think he did.
Looks like he did, so he doesn't quite have the vision for this. He's trying to blind fire that Disruptor shot, but it'll take quite some time. Oh, there's awkward Adepts.
No. Right? They're attacking a base that had no drones. They're very useful.
Would like to point out how tanky those were, by the way. Despite awkwardly walking into the army, still took a lot of cleanup.
Yeah. Drogo, that was very unfortunate right there. I mean, really well done for Elazer, obviously, to get the lings behind Drogo. That was devastating to him. He was supposed to take a defensive fight with much better upgrades. Consider how the army supply still looks, and imagine if he had done a fight the way that he wanted to. He'd probably actually be an even supply, which would not be so good for the Zerg. How many Lurkers does he have? 5? Then he's getting a couple more. 4 and 3 more. Alright, 7's still not that devastating, but of course Drogo did lose all of his Immortals, so he is depending on, basically, Disruptors.
Well, this base has been pretty much mined out. The rock's being taken out down to the south. The discussion of bits still goes pretty strong in chat, though. I guess the comment on this, guys, is bits are great because they can't be charged back through money, a point Nathanius has recently made, and that's hugely appealing. Luckily on BaseTradeTV, while we've had our fair share of chargebacks, I feel like it has been significantly less than most streamers, and we haven't had to worry about too much. So perhaps we're a little bit blessed, and that's why we can be a little bit more like a nose in the air about bits. But, well, not enabling them certainly is the same as leaving money on the table. I don't want to necessarily encourage bits over donations just yet. And while the argument is that, well, someone making a $0 donation would maybe donate bits instead, that's true. I don't want to get into that mindset. We see this through Patreon. You know, a good chunk of money goes to, say, the Elima League each month. Takes away from how much we could possibly earn on the channel because people are donating over there. People start donating through bits, so we get less donations. There's a lot of arguments for both sides to enable and disable bits. We've just chosen to stick on the side of not enabling them yet, guys. So we're experimenting with them on our personal channels. If that goes really well, then maybe we turn it on for BaseTradeTV. But for now, it's going to be off. And while I do hope you guys are having a fun time discussing it, some people are getting a little bit, we'll call passionate about the discussion and should maybe consider calming down.
Well, we have a bit of a base trade potentially. Actually, Drogo backs off from the fourth base.
I'd say it's a bit of a useless base because you're killing a gold base that doesn't have minerals. Woo!
Yeah. I mean, Drogo losing his fourth, pretty big. He does still have a similar amount of gold minerals there, but his third base is surprisingly healthy because he lost it for a good minute or two. And Drogo does take out his would-be third, actually his fourth, I think, which was a pretty important mining base. And he's on his way to the fifth, so Elazer's actually going to run out of mining bases if he can't respond to multiple locations, which so far he's having trouble doing. I guess he left his lurkers over there, but lurkers bare. Oh, if there was like two immortals in here, they would be dead by now. Yeah, well, I mean, the Disruptors still get the same job done. 37 drones dead through this. Getting a little bit rough. Both players falling off in that economy game, and I think this, when it's low economy and low numbers, this is where upgrades are really going to shine through. These Adepts dealing so much damage. They're going to start like two-shotting his Hydras. You got Disruptor shots going off. Look for these big hits. Elazer taking terrible fights, and Drogo beaten back into a corner has a bigger and better army supply. I love that he's protecting his Disruptors, too. All those go down, and maybe it's a little more questionable.
Well, I don't know if he was protecting his Disruptors so much as pulling back because his only Observer was kind of like poking out on that front line. It looked like he just kind of grabbed everything. It was like, no, get back, Observer, get back.
He was certainly wary of that, too.
Either way, both are protected and saved. Disruptors take out those lurkers. Elazer doesn't have the money to remake much more than Lings right now. And the 3 Archons remaining, that's 47 damage a shot. These Lings are going to get wrecked through splash damage.
GG. Alright, Drogo takes the 2-0.
Again, with these trends of 2-0s is impressive because these are players who are so good that you don't I do not expect Elazer to get 2-0 in the winner's bracket, especially with how much is riding on the line for him. That being said, he's still got the loser's bracket to fall down to, and I wish him the best of luck, because, again, if he wants a chance to beat Violet and not have to worry about a tiebreaker match and secure his spot to BlizzCon, he just has to get to the KeSPA Cup, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But this means the winner goes on to fight the top semifinals versus either Marine Lord or Bunny. We'll be following Drogo through for that, and we'll see you guys in a bit. Commercial break.